without such an argument, we should go ahead.
Mr. Chair.
Honourable Chester Morris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the opportunity to make another contribution. We've heard a lot of colourful debate across the chamber, and it is actually heartening, I think, that in a bill like this, which is so fundamental to social issues within our country, that the debate's pretty passionate. The screaming and the yelling, the shouting down, the failing to listen, and the accusations of others failing to listen, I guess if it's ever pertinent, it's going to be in something like this. The fact is that many of us in the House have got history and experience with alcohol, its use and its abuse. Maybe we've been part of dealing with the effects of that through our work, or maybe it's through our personal lives, family members, etc., etc. Some of the accusations are pretty difficult to stomach. The continued accusation, for instance, that the government has been in the pockets of the liquor industry, when people on the other side, especially senior members of the other side, will know that they only have to look at where their donations come from back into history, which come from the liquor industry and which didn't. And the last time I looked, the party that got a big, substantial donation from a player in the liquor industry was in 2002, and that was not the National Party. So those sort of accusations are groundless. They make really good radio or TV listening, but they don't stack up to the facts. And I think it's very important to just take heed of some of those comments. Another comment has been about whether votes on this bill should be conscience votes or whether they should be party votes. And I can say, as the chair of the Justice and Electoral Committee, that all the way through, the discussion was always, and the recommendation from the Law Commission was, that the votes around these alcohol questions should be party votes. That parties should stand up and nail their colours to the mast as parties, as where they stand on this, except for the question of age. And I endorse that, and so did the Labour Party members of that committee during the whole discussion period around alcohol reform. There has also been a number of accusations against the Minister of Justice currently overseas. And I think some of the accusations have been made that she's got some vested interest in brassing off local people and preventing them from having impact on local decisions in respect of alcohol. But it's also interesting to note that although the Labour Party's bill that they promoted when they were last in government had a local alcohol plan of sorts, it is this bill that allows local licensing committees to make decisions on breaches of those local alcohol plans introduced by this government. And that hardly stacks up then with an accusation that the National Party in government does not want local people making local decisions about the stuff that affect them. It's absolutely ridiculous. The last point I want to make was in respect of Mr Twyford's comments, and that's around the time it is taking to get the regulations built around this for the implementation of this Act. And it's hugely frustrating, and I understand that perfectly. There wouldn't be anyone in this House who would like to be able to snap their fingers and do it tomorrow. But whether you like it or not, the cumbersome animal that government is does not allow that to happen. And another point is that those of us who have been working with alcohol legislation for decades now know that when you rush the regulation-making powers, you cock it up. And sale of alcohol legislation and regulation has been a cock-up for generation after generation. And so I believe that it shouldn't have to take that long. The advice that we've been given is that it will. I believe we need to get it right. Not fast, we need to get it right. So when it comes, I'm not making an argument about whether it should be 12 months, 6 months or 2 weeks. The point I'm making is this: if you rush it, it's a cock-up. It's a cock-up to try and enforce. It's a cock-up to try and live within. That's right. Now there's a supplementary order paper from the government which has made the point that it is allowed councils, territorial local authorities to be able to draft their plans, to be able to negotiate and to discuss them, to be able to consult on them, and they will be able to do that ahead of that date because the bill wasn't plain on those points in the past. So I want to finish off again, I guess, by just congratulating the committees as they've worked on this and this House. As I said at the beginning of this short speech, robust debate around alcohol reform is totally appropriate. And although from time to time we'd like to lean across the other side and give them a smack and they us, it is totally appropriate that we speak with this with passion.
Till 5:15, Kevin Haig.
Mr Chair, I'll just make a few brief remarks.